Sonic has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I made my very first Sonic video in 2016 when I was 10 years old.
Hey guys, Wildfire here, and today we're going to be playing Sonic Dash 2.
Considering how young I was, this shouldn't even have been on YouTube. But now with the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie releasing on December 20th, I figured I would create this, essentially a love letter to Sonic the Hedgehog. I love Sonic, and today we're going to find out why. Sonic is an anthropomorphic blue hedgehog, as I'm sure you know, who, for some reason, appeals to autistic people. His first appearance was in an arcade game called Rad Mobile in 1990. Then his very own video game, Sonic the Hedgehog, was created by Yuji Naka and Naoto Oshima, forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, and released in 1991 to critical acclaim. In 1992, my favorite classic Sonic game was released, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Then Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Adventure 2, the very first Sonic game I ever played. I played the SA2 versus mode against my brother on the Nintendo GameCube. The next Sonic obsession I had was the Shadow Hockey game, distributed by McDonald's. According to the Sonic Wiki, it was briefly a part of Happy Meals in 2004, but I was born in 2005, so I don't know how I had one. Either way, I love that thing. Sometime after that, my mom bought the Nintendo Wii along with both storybook games. I didn't really like Sonic and the Secret Rings as a kid. I don't even think I beat it, but I love Sonic and the Black Knight. I remember freaking out when Sonic transformed into Excalibur Sonic and struggling on the final boss for hours. I cried trying to beat her. The Wii remote kept flying out of my hand because I never used the wrist strap. But then I beat her. I beat Merlina. The ecstasy I felt, the excitement. Turns out the boss fight was really easy. I just sucked at video games when I was younger, and I still suck now. Sonic Unleashed came out before Sonic and the Black Knight, but I played it after because we got a PS3 after the Wii. Anyways, my mom bought it for the PS3. Thank God, because the Wii version sucks. The intro cinematic had me mesmerized. It's still the best Sonic cinematic to this day. Sonic Unleashed is a top 5 3D Sonic game, and I will die on that hill. As a kid, I thought the Werehog was the coolest thing ever. When we played at recess and everyone wanted to be Ben 10 or Iron Man or something, I wanted to be Sonic the Werehog. We'd pretend to battle, and I'd get mad at the other kids for not taking damage because my imaginary stretchy arms were hitting them and they wouldn't react. Insufferable I was. Then there was Sonic Colors. Dude, that game was so funny to me back then.
Baldy nose hair!
I can't even remember the final boss. Unfortunately, the remake wasn't any good, so I'm taking forever replaying it. But the soundtrack, like any Sonic game, the soundtrack is amazing. I'm listening to Reach for the Stars as I'm writing this. Even as the little prick I was, I could tell that this opening was bloody amazing. Shortly after, or before, I can't really remember, my mom bought me the 3DS. I believe for Christmas. I couldn't say the year, but I played Sonic Generations on it. Not only was it my first introduction to the game, as I didn't even know there was a version of it on the Xbox 360, and clearly my mom didn't know the difference, but it was also my first favorite game. I played that game in the car, at my grandma's house, anywhere I could. I loved Sonic Generations, and I thought the Time Eater fight on the 3DS was amazing, even at that young age. The games aren't the only reason I love Sonic the Hedgehog. As I got older, throughout high school, I learned who I was, and as corny as it sounds, a big part of who I am is because of Sonic. Depending on the iteration, Sonic's personality differs, but the two that influenced me the most were IDW Sonic and Sonic from Sonic and the Black Knight. In Sonic and the Black Knight, Merlina, the daughter of Merlin, the wizard, summons Sonic to her world and manipulates him into getting the scabbard of immortality for her. According to the legends, nothing but ruin and warfare awaits her kingdom. She wants to use the scabbard to put the entire kingdom into a never-changing stasis to prevent this. But Sonic, with his belief that freedom is the right of all beings, stops her, even when that entire world sees him as evil. There are a few moments that really characterize Sonic here. The first is the opening. Thrust into a new world with nothing but his shoes and chili dogs, he sees a girl in need and an assailant. He doesn't ask questions, but instead moves to defeat the army chasing Merlina, and attempts to fight the Black Knight. This shows that no matter where he is or what he's doing, Sonic will protect those who he thinks need it. The second is when Sonic confronts Merlina, the Dark Queen. Towards the end of the game, she explains how she has seen the future and that her world ends in ruin. Sonic tries to reason with her before fighting, but once he realizes that there's no use, he leaps into battle. Sonic isn't someone who tries to fight, he just has to in order to do what he's got to do. As for IDW Sonic, this guy Ronnie explains it far better than I ever could, so check out his video. But in issue 50 of IDW Sonic, Sonic is fighting Surge and he wins. Surge thinks that Sonic should just kill her because she's causing all this havoc, but Sonic would rather give her a second chance to redeem herself. It's his choice to do so because he's free to do whatever he wants. He believes that everyone has a right to freedom, the right to choose, and that includes Surge. And so Surge chooses. She tries to end Sonic again and loses again. She seemingly falls to her death, and Sonic says, "That's the real problem with giving people a choice. You can't stop them from making the wrong ones." A lot of people have had issues with this. They see it as moral grandstanding, and I can understand why they feel like that. No one wants someone talking down to them, putting themselves on a high horse. People don't like that, and I know that they don't because people have felt that way towards me in the past. When I was younger, I was quite uptight. No smoking, no drinking, no drug use, no having fun. I still don't do any of that, but the difference is now I don't push that lifestyle onto others. It isn't my place to decide what's right and wrong. I simply have to live my life in accordance with what I believe is right. Just like Sonic the Hedgehog. Thank you everybody for watching this video. If you want more from me, I stream on Twitch at least once a week. I also had more to say about Shadow the Hedgehog, which I wanted to mention when I spoke about SA2, but it didn't really, it didn't line up with the rest of the script. I also wanted to talk about why we as humans like a creature as goofy as Sonic the Hedgehog in the first place. I just think it's interesting, the psychology behind it. But I wanted to get this video out before Sonic 3 released, so those topics just wouldn't have fit well here anyway. Once again, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.